I'm actually going to start going live on my Nala, the Neptunian translator channel. And I want to see how it works for me to do like recordings on Twitter. And then I think I may even start working with spaces a little bit as well. Sorry about my sleepy time kind of swag, honey. I'm about to wake it up. Give me just one moment. One momento. Ooh. Oh, yeah, that smells so good. Okay. I'm just now opening my Amazing Grace bergamot. Just now opening, and it does smell. It is magnifique. It smells like spring. It really does. Let me hit myself with that again. Like a crackhead. Okay. Yes, ma'am. She's exactly who I thought she was. Okay, yes. But you know something? I already know what I'm gonna pair that with. If you don't notice, like that is the thing, okay? It's one thing to wear beautiful perfumes and colognes, honey. But if you got a knack for pairing, yeah. Like I got some pairings that are some old perfumes and old colognes, and I have paired them and honestly kind of reimagined some stuff now. I'm gonna see how my scent profile works for the summertime boopski and see what it do. What it do. All right, y'all. Okay. Let me really get into what this is. Take some time with yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's Aries season. It is spring, the renewal of things and whatnot. Take some time. This transit that we're in, for some people, for some accounts, some people are saying that we haven't had it since the 1700s. And as far as it relates to all of these planets in the sign of Aries, someone said, and I did not go and fact check this, so please charge it to my head and not my heart, okay? Someone said it was like 1,000 years or whatever. Mm. So please take time with yourself. Like take time to take care of yourself. Okay? That apparently is being blessed. If you've been following my stories, well, not my stories, I probably should start doing stories. Won't you start doing that, girl? Okay? I might have to start doing that. And that way I can like show my real time reactions to things that are in the mundane world. That's my whole thing right now, is finding the divine in the mundane world, and like a real like connection to something that I was talking about, that I was writing about, and being able to actually show the examples of an inquiry that I have being answered for me, and not in let me make this happen for me, let me try to make it work. No, like in a real like defining way, as a um kind of like a tribute to source energy and everything that has carried me when I didn't have the strength, um and still to this day, when some days I'm just like, you know what, and I still manage to have enough energy, enough love and consideration to take care of myself, because even down to how you're presenting, and mind you, you shouldn't carry this idea that how you're presenting is going to be responsible for someone else's mental health. But just getting and pulling yourself together, putting on a scent that smells good, cleaning yourself up, especially if you tend to clean up nicely, and going somewhere and just smiling at people. Now, not these weird, for women, especially women of color, not some of these men, even babies or other women. Being like beautiful and down to earth is a fucking vibe. I'm gonna just tell you right now. Being down to earth and while being beautiful is a whole fucking vibe. Okay, it's just real talk. Like, especially if you're not full of yourself, because if you are truly beautiful, you're going to see beauty in your world, in other people. You're going to see your beauty reflected in other people. If you are a person like, oh, I'm the only one, I'm the only, you know, that is that is unfortunate, because no one saw or thought too much of your design to make anything that complimented it. That's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, the best shit gets reproduced, right? Think about what I'm saying. Like, I know that there's unique people. I'm a unique person, okay? I have a unique way of doing things. I'm so unique in the way I do things that even people who follow me and they deny that they follow me, or people who copy from me who deny they copy from me, I get comments here and there, and then I also get anonymous um clients who kind of tell me that they see it, because some of my clients actually will tap in with me here. They know I'm here. Listen, I don't, if I can go back and do it again, I would not let anyone know. I wouldn't let anyone from here know where I worked, and vice versa. I would have not cross pollinated those environments. Trust me, because, and that's what I'm kind of here to talk about today. Not a person, but a behavior, okay? Because maybe it's something that's coming along with this Aries South Node. Maybe it is a Aries South Node thing. And maybe that hard, that not Aries South Node, sorry. Well, Aries South Node, maybe it's an Aries South Node, maybe it's a Saturn in Aries type thing, where Aries represents our identity, and maybe people with that placement cannot come up with their own identity, so they tend to live through the subconscious. Whatever they view is them. They don't ever actually like assert themselves in the world as who they are, because they kind of mailed into the world of whatever they're looking at, whatever content they're consuming, whoever they're talking to. They become that person, or become a caricature or an extension of that person, because maybe Saturn represses the ability to develop an identity separate from what you consume. Okay? And so I want to talk about that. I'm going to do a reading on it, if that's okay with you guys. I want to do a reading on it. But yeah, like, no one's going to be like you. You're going to be unique. I know I'm not trying to piss off the Aquariuses, okay? Because the truth be told is that no one's going to be like you. However, just like there are unique markings on a leaf, a plant, unique striking marks on a fruit, and anything else that differentiates it from another one that was just a petal or flower away from growing, they're still complementary things within the category. And a way of working with Saturn, and shout out to KRS Astrology. If you guys are like listening to me and you're not going to like KRS Astrology or other people who have shared, like, what the hell are you even doing? Like, why are you wasting your fucking life being a fucking bum? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you stupid like that? Don't be stupid like that. I hope y'all can hear me. Hello, can you hear me? Um, don't be stupid like that though, for real. Like you need to tap the fuck in. Now KRS astrology, he is Jyotish. He is Vedic astrology. However, brilliance and methodology kind of translates to other systems. You know what I'm saying? And no matter whether you're calculating via Western or Vedic, it doesn't change the nakshatra that's influencing that particular point or what particular luminary or angle in your chart. I will say with Vedic, it really, really gets into some things because I discovered last night that first of all, I did not like I am I can't believe it. I am really getting into second house astrology. Like I really am getting into second house astrology. And you would think someone with a moon in Taurus and with Cancer in the second house in Western astrology, Cancer is ruled by the moon, that you know two exalted positions for the moon. Second house is traditionally ruled by Taurus, and the moon in Taurus is exalted. Okay? So you would think, child, you would honestly think that means Aquarius has an exalted moon or an exalted fourth house. Like if you're an Aquarius rising, shout out to Nicki Minaj. Yeah, if you're an Aquarius rising, that means you have Taurus in the fourth house. Okay, that really did eat just right then. That ate down right just right then. Okay, yeah, the second house is ruled by Taurus. Okay. And I have Cancer there. And so that's an exaltation of the moon. Not for real. I'm just making shit up at this point. Really, the exaltations are going to be dealing with the planets and their respective signs. I'm just making shit up, okay, when I'm talking about that, okay? But I do find it interesting that when you look at your natal chart, you cannot tell me you don't see evidence of the Most High God, because that kind of precision, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of precise. That lets you know that you're not by accident and you actually are unique. Like if you really get into yourself and you really take the time with yourself, babe, you really are unique. You know what I'm saying? Like let me just now I think I'm allowed. I'm South Node in seventh house. I'm relating to everyone. That's what the seventh house is. It's traditionally ruled by Libra. I know I've been fist fighting with the motherfucking Libras, and it's one that it's one day, bitch. I'm a, I'm gonna look smacks that motherfucker, okay? Because every time you cross me, bitch, I will never get tired. You gonna have a high set of cheekbones. You understand me? That's cool. Saturn is exalted in Libra. Hmm? It's crazy. I have two exaltations in Western and I have two exaltations in Vedic. Vedic, my exaltations, which actually solidified my birth tarot card, and that is exaltation of Mars in Capricorn and the exaltation of Saturn in Libra, which solidifies the Empress birth card that I have. But anyway, let me just talk to you about why it's important for you to give a fuck about you. Okay? That's really what this is about. This is the whole point of me going on this live stream. When you look at your birth chart, I want you to look at your degrees. I would love for you to really take some time with your birth chart and look at the degrees of the planet. Okay, just to keep it easy peasy lemon squeezy, look at the number. If it's like 29, you're a bad motherfucker. How many 29s do you have in there? 29 is ruled by Leo, so it's 17, and so is 5. Okay, I know. They got three numbers, the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But that's what's up. I wait a minute. Does Cancer have room? Wait a minute. Does Cancer have three numbers? You got four, obviously, right? And they're 12 apart. So 4 plus 12, 16. Cancer has three numbers because it's 28 degrees. Yeah. And 27 degrees is Gemini. Yes, I did pause. Bitch, I completely paused on y'all ass. I really went into. Hold on one second. Hold up. Because I'm not slow, but I am kind of slow at the same time. Let's see. So you got Aries. Aries is 1. 1 plus 12 is 13. So 13 belongs to Aries. Shout out to the 13. Like, people don't know what 13 actually means, and that's so fucking crazy. Um, First of all, Friday the 13th was the day in which the Templars were massacred, and the Templars were the keepers of, or supposedly the keepers of the Ark of the Covenant, and keepers of the sarcophagus of Mary Magdalene, the partner, the wife of Christ, and thus revealing the bloodline of Christ. I believe that it goes deeper than that. I believe that what they're guarding are the true 12 tribes of Israel, but we're not going to go there right now. Huh? We're not going to go there right now. Let us keep it. I mean, I am talking about you, and for some of the few of you that is relevant, right? Especially if you have um, olive complexion, golden complexion, and undertones, and cool undertones with a very deep hue of skin. Yeah. And really, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying. Maybe more recent, maybe as far as the last 1,500 years, recently tied to certain Hebrew or previously Hebrew nations. But nonetheless, we're just going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep on going. So essentially, 13 could there could it could represent so many things. From what we understand is that it was the day, Friday the 13th, right before well, Good Friday. Was it Friday the 13th? No, hold on, wait a minute, y'all, I got this shit mixed up. Friday the 13th was supposed to be like this horrific day that the Templars were massacred. These were people who had knowledge and books from the Egyptian library at Alexandria. They had certain types of literature and things that really helped humanity that was written in, I guess, what modern day would be Arabic or Farsi, but from various Persian dynasties that the Holy Roman Catholic Church now says were scripts that were filled with jinn. And come to find out, some of those jinn that people are claiming are actually gods and goddesses, a lot of which are Isis and Osiris and Set. And there are certain schools of thought amongst those who are mystical theologists or theosophists that the medieval times, or the times of like King James wrote a version of the Bible, but it was after he wrote a demonology book. And there are certain sects of Freemasons that are not actually um, following tradition, and their job is to maintain a lie or a trick, such as religion is a lie or a trick, in order to have hedonism and remove you from source energy. We're going to give you religion and put the most natural human qualities under a taboo. And what this is going to do is induce you to the thing that we say is a sin, but in such excess that it destroys you. So I want you to understand, I want you to pick up what I'm putting down, okay? Information sometimes is put out there with the purpose of removing you from your inheritance. You have a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of black people, which I'm going to say something here about. That's one of the reasons why I don't have respect for a particular content creator who's a woman. Because with everything that you have available to you as far as knowledge and research, and we're not that different in age. What is 10 or 12 years? There's a lot of bitches that don't make it to 70 while other people thrive in their 90s and well into their hundreds. You can be old as hell and young at the same time. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a 20-year difference. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, for real. Like there's no excuse for some of you to be walking around ignorant as hell and contesting something that you, if you actually did your fucking research. This is what, now I'm finna go on a rant. Hold the line. Hold the fucking line, because I gotta get this shit out. I'm sorry, babe. I know I haven't been ranting, but hold the fucking line. Because a bitch be having me fucked up. How you gonna tear down? How you gonna be a Christianity deconstructionist? And then you're gonna go over here and fuck with Gemini Fly or Gemifly about what they do with the Bible when your ignorant motherfucking ass hasn't even done the research to understand that before the rise of patriarchy and colonialism, the Bible was actually transcribed in fucking Ethiopia. And Ethiopia is one of the most pro-women civilizations in the modern and in ancient world. Like, how the fuck are you on here spewing that bullshit? That's the shit that pisses me the fuck off. You went out here and you led a lot of young black women. You never told young black women about the fucking HIV crisis, bitch. You never told young black women about their fucking self-esteem. You told them bitches to have a nigga in their ass and one in their mouth like a fucking pig, twisting their ass around like a kebab. That's what you told black girls to do. But now that you want to change up and you haven't actually let go of those Christian values, I don't give a fuck what you say, bitch. You ain't let go of that tradition after you done shat on it and then develop celebrity behind it. You have disenfranchised a whole group of black women from actually understanding what their fucking power is, you bitch. And then come to find out you purport some shit when you are the man and the motherfucking woman. So not only did you play yourself, you trying to play us all, bitch. No, I don't like you. You are your father's daughter. The fuck? Anyway. Whoa, I'm sorry, y'all. That shit got me heated right there. How are you a deconstructionist of fucking religion and you have failed to do the groundwork? You know why? Because this little motherfucker is retarded. And because we are all, myself included, are all like, trained via TikTok to do these 30-second intervals of information. We don't have the attention span to actually sit down and disseminate information, to dissect information. And even down to this, when you build up a platform, you affect other small content creators under you. So long as you are black and a fat bitch, you're going to influence the way I'm seen as an old fat black bitch. Not for long, but nonetheless. The fuck? So it's like you put these people, this is what I was talking about. When you put this is the work of thousands of years. You put people who are ill-informed in front of other folks. You put people who have issues in front of other people because they become tools of deception. Because they don't even operate in the truth of themselves. And if you don't think the algorithm, the one that collects data on you, Does it know that you are a slave and you are a great slave that they can prop up and use to enslave the minds of other people? You got another fucking thing coming. I don't want to hear shit about the streamers. I'm sorry, but I don't want to hear shit about the streamers. I want to hear shit about IShowSpeed, because last time I checked, he was putting people on about what the fuck was going on around the world. Casually than the motherfucker, having a ball. But in doing so, he's actually in his purpose and mission. You don't have to lie to people. Well, you know, you can. I don't be telling y'all hoes all the truth, bitch. I be lying. Anyway, I'm just saying though, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like within reason, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't been telling them everything. What the fuck? You know? But I'm just saying, you don't have to like live in a certain kind of way where there's no authenticity in the character that you present to the world. Okay? It's your character. You should be able to own that. And you don't get to do that when, first of all, you are acting like a that parrot from Egyptian lore that pretty much repeats every word of the brilliance of like the brilliant mind of Hermes, or of Thoth. It's like Thoth's shadow. It's like it's a monkey, and it repeats what Thoth says and it distorts what it says. So those who go to listen to the monkey, I mean, why are you listening to? I can't say that because okay, you know what? Let's not go there. Okay, respectfully, I'm not speaking about a modern day depiction of, you know, or Chinese zodiac. Okay, I am speaking about a behavior. So you just got to look at the monkey or look up the baboon of Thoth, and it is a thing that basically copies what it is. Kind of like the baboon of Thoth. This is going to sound kind of nasty, because you got to think about it. In order for you to comprehend something, it's just like eating, right? And comprehension is essentially being able to eat something and digest it and take the nutrients from it, right? And then what all of the material that is no longer serving you, you kind of pass it through your, you know, eighth house, which is your sexual organs and also your elimination organs. It becomes shit. Well, think of the baboon of Thoth as being a bottom feeder. So when they hear, or when they examine, or they are trying to copy someone else, they're literally, they have mouth to asshole. They never go and digest food for themselves. They eat the waste of pre-digested food. Okay? I know I gave a very viscerally disgusting version because I wanted to, so that you can understand how fucked up that is for the person who is actually doing it. Because if you think about it, dogs only eat other dogs or their own boo-boo when they lack nutrients, or they are not being fed at home, or they're not able to eat, they're starving. So think of someone else who's copying from someone else's, not original idea, but maybe style, and maybe they're prompted to try to coat themselves with that style. Think of that person as a dog who is starving and neglected, and so is forced to eat its boo-boo and the boo-boo of other people. It's like an ass eater. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of not having your own identity does to you. You know, it, mind you, I know there's Scorpios who talk about eating ass, but that's not what Scorpio is. Scorpios do the butt play. I don't know what it's about. I don't know. Scorpio, eighth house, and butt play. I think the first time I heard an astrologer talk about butt play, it was a Scorpio person. I don't know what that's about. I mean, you know, shout out to Phaedra from Atlanta Housewives, but she was feeling that colonic. When the first time I seen somebody have a colonic on TV, it was her and Portia was doubling over the way my ass would have been. Baby, Phaedra would took that shit like a champ, like clean me out. I think all of us could use a colonic, to be quite honest with you. But nonetheless, okay, let's get back to the point, okay? You know, for optimum health. at the end of the day, Scorpio deals with cleanliness because, irregardless to what their preoccupation with the booty hole is, it still operates as a filtering system to remove waste from you. Okay, to remove it away from you. Plus, there are a ton of parasites. Like, I don't ever want to hear anyone talking about black people who eat chitterlings when you eat raw butt. You could never boil a butt of a living human being. You can never clean a butt. Y'all are introducing new pathogens that when you fucking corpse fucking disintegrates are going to create new diseases and new ways in which cells are going to not be able to divide properly and create new forms of throat cancer. The newest form of throat cancer is a form of chlamydia and gonorrhea from oral sex. No shit. Listen. You why not? But why not? But why not though? HPV, which can exist in a man's anus, can give the man anal cancer. And HPV is the number one contributor of cervical cancer in women. So if you put those parts in your mouth, what you think is going to do is going to get in the epithelial cells in the throat and give you cancer. One moment, y'all. I'm back, bitches. Okay, so yeah, like look it up. The new throat cancer, and you wonder why a lot of men are having the cancers in the butt, honey. It's because of HPV. And then you ought to check out my girl Holistic Hoochie, because what she broke down, baby, I'll never forget. She said that there are parasites that can go up our butt, man or woman, up our urethra, man or woman, and they literally control your desire of sex and who you have sex with, because their goal is to make you eat sugar, to be imbalanced, and to have unprotected sex, because the sicker you are, the more that they can grow for their purposes. And these are parasites and bacteria that are over a couple millions of years. It knows you better than you know yourself. So when they tell you to do a parasite cleanse because you're like something's wrong with your mind, your first brain is your stomach. Bitch, that's why I'm half slow. Hello? Let's really get into it. Okay? Ain't nothing to it but to do it. But yeah, like your high sex drive could very well be a result of a parasite that is having you and tempting you to do something with certain people to create the perfect environment for it to flourish, and extra points if you get pregnant and the baby you have is born with those parasites in their bloodstream. Now this is what's going to get real crazy. Y'all want to go? Y'all want to get real crazy? What if I told you those parasites? There were people aware of those parasites during the age of chattel slavery, and when they were doing medical, allegedly, medical experiments on black bodies, that was one of the things to study how madness could be shared amongst a population of sexually active breeding men and women. And you wonder why niggas is talking about that black woman who herself is a product of slavery, who got killed by that white man, despite the fact that white men have killed 3 bitches over the last 3 weeks. Despite the fact that black men have killed 3 bitches over despite the fact that you're most likely going to get killed by a black man as a black woman, and as a white woman, you're most likely going to be killed by a white man as a white woman. As an Asian woman, you're most likely to be killed by a Asian motherfucking man, allegedly. Despite those numbers, those very real numbers, the arrested development that is the black community in black social media will not allow the men, the arrested development, the parasites, and the breeding, genetic breeding disorders as it relates to the faculty of thinking and comprehension, will not allow these men to think independently of each other, but instead operate like a remote control under a breed mind induced groupthink. And mind you, only men, it's not natural for women to follow. So that's why it used to be a thing for a woman to follow you. Like it's a thing for a father to tell his daughter to. Why do you think that they made that law to force women to give men a chance? That otherwise would not be reproduced genetically because they were genetically inferior to other men. Why do you think that men had multiple wives? Do you think that that was an invention of men, or do you think that was an invention of women? Huh? I don't know why I got into this. Do you think that the fucking invention of polyamory and polygamy was that of a man, or do you think it was that of a woman? And if you know that women think about the quality of their offspring, or used to, because black women are breeding with some dumbass people, which is why we're having a lot of problems. And why we have a lot of slaves that are talking to people to remind them and put them back in slave programming. Which is why we don't see the black community here in the Americas able to compete with their peers across the globe as it relates to our individual growth in comparison to those who have the same access as us of other groups. And I know that we're brilliant. As a matter of fact, we are the leaders when it comes to style and riz and everything that is significant for social development across the world. Music and everything. Wasn't nobody listening to no music out of Africa worldwide until black people incorporated certain things by trying to look for their roots here in the United States. We have put everybody the fuck on. And now it's time to let people know when they disrespect you, they can fuck off. You hear me? Hello? Do you hear me, bitch? Okay? But I want you to understand something here. The common sense part of the thing would have said, okay, this white man probably felt like he could get away with killing a black woman. But then some part of you could say this is a mentally ill motherfucker. Because over the past couple of weeks, white men have been throwing they threw the bitches over the boat and shooting up their people. And black men just shot his wife and himself in front of his fucking kids. His kids I had a fucking nightmare about that. Because right now, bitch, I'm having a 12th house transit. Okay? So we'll get into what the fuck that means if I have enough time. Okay? But I'm having crazy fucking dreams. So for you, fuck you, observational astrology. But since you were saying some little shit with your Libra fucking placement, I never understood Libras who didn't get mad that they don't get a lot of followers because they're being assholes. No one likes the asshole Libra. And you know exactly what the fuck you're doing. Okay? You're bitter about some shit. You ain't getting no dick. That shit be fucking with Libras though, for real, for real. Like I was just tripping the other day. Like get your rocks off. Because bitch, y'all make me want to punch you in the face. When you're not in a partnership. Libra is obsessed with being in partnerships. So people with South Node and Libra, South Node like myself in the 7th house, you can. But the thing about a South Node in the 7th house on the sun It doesn't benefit me to be like, for me personally, sun is royalty, seventh house is marriage. It doesn't benefit me to be like relationship crazy if the man is not a king. That man will blow my brains out if he's not a king. Could you imagine my mouth around someone who doesn't have status? Child, please. That listen, I would give him permission. My higher self would be like, she's a bitch. Okay? Listen, I don't listen, brother, I don't know what you thought. It's either gonna be that or you're going to feel a ways. If you're a man who's not ambitious, you're gonna feel a ways that I am. Because I'm trying to make up for the anima or the animus in me that wants an ambitious man. And that part of me that you see is a masculine action operating through a woman that doesn't feel at home. That's why men get jealous. It's not that they get jealous because of your accomplishments, it's because your desire to be ambitious is an outright claim to them not being man enough to be with you. But this is the problem with breeding improperly, that you have women and men that don't have the basic mental capacity to problem solve. Because the problem solving effect would be, what is it that you would do for free that you love? How can you capitalize off of that? How can you grind with that? And maybe you should do that before you take a wife or have kids. That would be the logical thing to do. But a lot of us, we are overindulgent, and we see it in our waistlines, we see it in our bank accounts, and we see it in the choices we make in relationships. And so we refuse to do the thing that is necessary, which is self-actualization, before bringing an actual life into this world. And we try to make excuses for it. And you have a bunch of confused people, not confused sexually, but confused as it relates to progression and comprehending what it means to progress and what it means to hold space for those who are different than you, and what it means to be able to compete on the world stage with peers of yours that are the same age as you, but they're outperforming you. Instead, we get our fat ass up here and we talk to Capricorn and tell Capricorn that Capricorn's overworking when Capricorn busts nuts working. What are you talking about, bitch? You're ruining my fucking day telling me not to work. What are you doing? What's going on, Bridget Ann Ferguson? Much love to you. Like telling me Capricorn's overworking. Bitch, I would kill you. Do you understand? Like literally, if you listen to me, baby, stop talking to Capricorn. You don't have enough Capricorn friends in your life because you don't understand that we will hurt you. You don't have enough Capricorn. You don't have enough fucking Capricorn friends. You tell a Capricorn to sit down, they are the most annoying bitch. We're busy in our sleep. Do you understand me? Listen. I have a theory, okay? I brought fibromyalgia on myself, bitch. I was working 50, 60-hour weeks. And I had enough money. I just spent a lot of money. Stupidly. Because I don't know how to do that. I know I do a lot of shit, but I don't know how to do the finances of things, okay? And to be quite honest with you, I don't feel like I should. Like, really? Why don't I have unlimited access to cash? The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know who the fuck I am? Like, spiritually? Anyway, let's get real. You know, let's go back, come down to earth. But I'm just saying, though, like, if you want to depress me, tell me not to work. I realize myself noticing Capricorn. Shut the fuck up. I understand that. Shut up, everybody. I know I'm North Node in Cancer. I get that. But you got to understand that I wasn't going to reach my North Node until I had somebody that could do the shit I apparently did in the past life. Because my nerves won't let me, bitch. I will volunteer. Bitch, when I can't find work, do you know I volunteer? Do you know that? I volunteer. Bitch, I volunteer. I can't sit still. What are you talking about? I can't get this shit on social media work because I don't care enough about social media. Because y'all be getting on my motherfucking nerves. I don't care enough about it. I haven't made enough money on social media for me to care about it. I see other people making money, but it doesn't make sense to me. Am I slow? Maybe I'm slow. Maybe I'm a little retarded. Okay, who isn't? Huh? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? You said a drumming the earth angel. Hey, honey. What's going on? I might be a little ignorant, okay? I might be. I see y'all making money. I love making money. I like working. But I think I'm gonna tell you what it was. I think that at the height of my flares in 2018 and 2019, I associated for I associated first of all, it's not fair, but I associated having to do my tarot readings and having to edit them and upload them with me not being able, feeling tired when it came to my clients. And respectfully, that's not an appropriate association. This is the reason why I will block certain influences, because I will not have you fuck up my association with certain zodiac signs, because those zodiac signs bring me money. Yes, they bring me infamy. Okay, so I will block your bitch ass. And whatever the fuck that means, when I say I block you from my sight and earshot so I don't have to hear from you, whatever that means for you on the other end is your business. But it's also your business not to get on my bad side either. Right? So anyhow, I'm going to block the fuck out of you because you're not going to fuck up my associations, because I'm working on it. I have a little bit of ADHD, and I do the cha-cha slide on the autism spectrum. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever. Chopstick here or there, you know, or anywhere. It is what it is. But I'm just saying though, like I think I just associated with being tired because at the time my grandmother was still living. I was doing caregiving for her. I was not taking care of myself. And I was having the most painful flares while gaining weight. And some days being in so much pain, I could not get out of the bed. And I associate that with all of the trauma of living in an apartment and being a caretaker and trying to take care of myself and all the challenges that I went through. So I think that that's where I'm at when it comes to content creation. And I think that that's my hesitation, is I have a negative association with it that I have to work on. Okay. And I was also freaked out by looking at myself all day. Like, that shit fucks with me. There's another guy who does music, like takes. He was talking about he had the same issue, and then I believe that Huncho, no, Big Huncho, I think, you know what I'm saying, the barber, I think he's a Pisces, and I'm Neptune conjunct Sun. My Neptune is in Sagittarius, so that's why you get a lot of Sag energy. I'm also a Sag in Vedic astrology. I'm an Aries moon in Vedic astrology, but I'm a 1 degree Taurus moon, you know, and 1 is ruled by Aries. So the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Got a lot of little fire, a little earth, you know, a little crazy, a little sweet, little salt, you know, whatever. And so I think that that's like, I think for me that I made a negative association and I didn't see the benefit in it because of all of the, like, those things are very traumatic that I went through, but not traumatic to overshadow the good things. I love my grandmother. Okay, I love her to this day. Her birthday was April the 13th, her and her twin. And so I found that to be interesting because I think that there was something major, at least I saw on Amber Khan's page of the Quietest Revolution. Shout out to her. Something about April 13th. So I don't know. I saw that and I was so happy because that's her. Another 13. You see what I'm saying? My life is deep in symbology. I don't do things because I see other people do it. There's deep resonance as to why I do a thing. You know? It's never just, oh, I saw someone and I thought that was cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because you are honoring what you saw. You deserve that. But for me, I just need to make that a point that when it comes to my creative development or my creative process, it's deeper than what you see on the surface. It's a little manic, yes, but it's deeper. It has more meaning. It has a lot more weight to it. It's not a costume that you just put on. Right? And if you're going to perform it, at least give me Leo like performances that are heartfelt. You know, Leo rules the heart. You know that, right? Cancer is the blood, but Leo is the heart. It's heart-centered. So to even be confident and a little bit narcissistic requires you to have a heart to hold space not only for your own brilliance, but to be a mechanism and vessel for the activation and the acquisition of brilliance, individuality, and confidence in other people. What? You know what I'm saying? That is hugely important for us to pay attention to. And we're in talking about individuality, because fire signs represent all of us. We all have these placements as it relates to our creative expression, which is Leo. Aries is our identity, and Sagittarius is the higher mind. It is the house of God. What do you have in your ninth house? Because that is how you worship. Okay? I have Aquarius with Mars in the ninth house. I cannot call a man my guru and maintain a relationship with them. So I must make friends out of the people I admire. I cannot treat you a certain way if I value the relationship with you. Shout out to Chaos Astrology. I cannot. So that's the reason why I must hold myself at a certain esteem. Because what do you mean I have to make friends and my peers and make a peer out of a king or queen or emperor or empress? That if I admire them, they cannot be my guru. So I must hold myself at a certain standard and allow myself to develop a level of astuteness to where those who I admire in these positions become my peers and trusted confidants. Right? But yeah. And then Aquarius is the heavens. So that can talk about, if you want to understand what your religion style is, look at your ninth house. That's one of the reasons why when I see people who have Sagittarius placements renouncing religion, I be looking at them like your ass probably in the past life was the fucking motherfucker who put religion on the earth. No wonder you in here trying to renounce some shit that you're responsible for, you heathen. You know what I'm saying? You're responsible for the shit on some level. You probably betrayed the Ethiopians and gave their secrets and the secrets of the Persian Empire to Holy Roman armies or Greek armies that conquered not by sheer will, but by infiltrating your groups and telling you that we're all the same. Huh? I don't see color, is what they said. Bitch came through and took all your shit. How you be owning the mines of diamonds and gold and silver and you can't why the fuck I can't buy a diamond from the country of diamonds? Huh? I gotta go through De Beers that's in Europe to get to something that's in Africa? What are you talking about? That's ludicrous. That's insane. What are you saying? Why the fuck is Europe controlling any fucking thing in Africa where it doesn't benefit the citizens there? You are insane to think that's okay. Oh, that's disrespectful. And what you're also doing at the same goddamn time is that you're saying that Persians and Africans and whoever could come to your countries and do the same thing. So when I see, even though I have a thing, I love me some Elon Musk. Listen, y'all, fuck y'all, okay? I'll explain it one day. I'm just not gonna do it today, okay? But I think Elon is crazy as hell. The fuck you mean? How are you missing the thing? Baby, we taught you. You think your people was out there, the best y'all could do was Valkyrie. You're coming off of a whole system that existed before you even, like Cheddar Man was still walking around and there was an active civilization in Africa. If you don't know who Cheddar Man is, he is like the most, like the I think the oldest mummy found in Europe. And even he had dark skin, but he had the genetic mutation for blue eyes. But even at that time, his skin was dark. Baby, y'all was still doing Cheddar Man. And we were around there developing a game called chess. What the fuck are you talking about? Right? You invite shit to come to your home based on your behavior in other people's home. How you treat your neighbor or how you feel about your neighbor can determine what happens to you and how neighbors respond to that. There's no separation there. I don't give a fuck if it's been 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years. You got to give me my things, sir. What the fuck is this? You got to give me me. You got to give me my things. I only came here to get my things and dip. And go back to the Sleeping Beauty constellation. Huh? I came here to get my things, maybe my people or certain individuals, and dip. That's what I came here to do. I'm not coming back to this bitch until the age of Capricorn. Fuck you mean? Cause y'all tripping. I done been through some shit here. The fuck? I'm sticking to that story, y'all. I truly don't believe we have one life. And I do believe that how we lead our lives absolutely influences the life we have thereafter. And it can make up for some things that happened in previous lifetimes. Because you're going to repeat a thing until you learn it. If you forget history, you will absolutely repeat it. Right? But nonetheless, in talking about you, ensure that you don't forget your history. Ensure that you have a certain level of esteem for yourself. And ensure that you are not merely copycatting. You live a life that's meaningful. And it's not coming out of the birth canal of someone else where you are saying that you have the inability to birth forward life or new life. And you affirm that by waiting under as a receptacle of someone else's buttocks to eat their excrement. Because you have the inability to find nourishment yourself. People who copy other people would have not survived in hunter-gatherer like groups. And so these men or women would have not been chosen to reproduce with. Because it would say that the children would be even less effective in survival. So to be a woman and allow a man that you're interested in to see you copy from another woman to prove that you can be just as good is a surefire way to make him fall more in love with the woman you're copying. Like if I wanted to take your nigga, I would influence you to act like me. Okay, I'm finna get real deep right now. Wait a minute, hold on, bitch. You know I'm gonna do it to you. Okay. Yeah, I would influence you to act like me if I wanted to take your man. I would influence you to talk like me. I would influence you to read like me. if I wanted to be the queen bitch. I would influence you to use language like me. Huh? Because the hunter in that man is going to say, this is the false one. And not only is this the false one, it's a weak version because she's copying off another woman. Where is that woman? I smell that woman's draws upon the lips of this woman that's in my face, begging for my attention. But I want to know who the draws belong to because I like that scent more than I like her breath talking to me. You understand? So if you actually want to, if you think that you're like, listen to me. When you copy from another woman, especially if you're trying to compete with that woman, you prove to everyone that she's superior to you and that you're too stupid to realize that other people see. Or you're too stupid and dumb that you don't comprehend that at least certain people who you're trying to impress see it, and that you are making standard to those people that you ain't shit. You ain't got an authentic shred of person in you. And your self-esteem is saying that I should not hold you in high esteem either. Let me tell you why I know this is true. Let me pull this for you. What did women do? What did black women do in the 80s and 90s? Now, before you get in here talking about some black women was wearing weaves and perm in their hair, nigga, you must have forgotten, and you must have forgot Malcolm X had a whole relaxer. You must have forgot Little Richard, and you must have forgot that perm. Oh, that glorious perm that James Brown had. You must have also forgot about the Soul Glow era of the 80s and Jerry curls all the way up to the 90s. I think Ice Cube had a Jerry curl. Those are all chemical treatments to loosen the curl of your hair so that you can look Puerto Rican. Huh? These are all texture changing activities so that you can mimic European-esque beauty standards. Because just in case you didn't know, Spain is in Europe. Just because it's some Afro-Hispanics and Afro-Latinas, Spain is still European. And to be attached to Afro-Latinas is to be in love with European standards. Like for the purpose of saying that she's better than someone that you come from. And there's no verifiable evidence other than aesthetics. You're saying that, like, as a black man, think about that. You are having sex with a woman, right? She is Asian or she's Latina. She doesn't deserve the fact that you're busting a nut in her because you think you're ugly, and she's going to spit out a baby that looks better than you and is lighter complected than you. That child or that woman doesn't fucking deserve to have your sperm that's self-hating inside of her, because you know what happens? She will become a self-hating person, and that child of yours was born out of the rejection of self. So if you want to understand what's going on with your offspring and why they're depressed, what was the state of mind of their father when he was trying to eradicate himself? Bingo, bitch. That's why you got Lotto running around here calling herself Big Mama when your mother, it doesn't have the mitochondrial Eve gene. I'm sorry. What the fuck do you mean? It's no way, bitch. It's no way, unfortunately. The best thing you can do is take that beautiful baby. If he's a boy, make sure he gets with a sister from the nation. And she has the mitochondrial Eve to embed that and envelop that back into your family line. Huh? That way your genetic issues can find remedy in them. Because the mitochondrial Eve gene only travels through the woman to her daughters. This is why Jewish or Hebrew people say that if your mother isn't Jewish, your father, it doesn't matter. Your mother is what determines whether you are Hebrew or Jewish. Even though that's supposed to be a religion, Apparently it's a race. It's the mother, because that's scientifically accurate. This is not hating on men. If anything, this is a referendum on what the fuck are you doing? So much you finna build a nation where? Where? When that baby comes out of that woman, whatever she is what that baby is. Literally, to repair the genetics from ALS and from several disorders, you need the mitochondrial Eve with all of the DNA of every race in order to repair genetic maladies. And you do not get that from the sperm, unfortunately. So get the fuck real and get in your science bag. This is the reason why Jeffrey Epstein, everyone talking about everyone else. I can't believe this Negro is doing a 18-part special on R. Kelly and his boyfriend that's from India. That's crazy as shit. Talking about he ain't finna donate to that black girl's family who got killed by the white man. But you doing an 18-part special on R. Kelly and his Indian boyfriend and his lover telling you how smart R. Kelly is. He's so smart. He's so wise. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, you talking to this nigga boyfriend. The fuck? Get the fuck out of here. And then the dysfunction of it. And you mean to tell me you think Willie D, you think I believe you have our best interest at heart? You can't be. You an old fool. That means you going to your casket stupid like that. You casket sharp and stupid. Huh? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, sir. The fuck is you talking about? This motherfucker rendered himself more smarter than me. Can you believe that shit? He's sitting there talking to this motherfucker's boyfriend. Acting like they two men having a heteronormative manly conversation. Nigga, that's his whole boyfriend. That's his boochie cat you talking to. The fuck? The way he talk about him so eloquently. That was his lover. So this is why you know people ain't they need Jesus. They don't have God. They walk around here judging everybody else, and you couldn't be further from the cross. You ought to be ashamed of your fucking self. You got women in your family, and you carrying on like this with this R. Kelly shit. What if your daughter was one he was pissing on her face? Yeah, maybe she was fast, but what if that was your baby? You around here celebrating him. Considering what the fuck we're going through in our communities. You don't give a fuck. You are the old ass niggas I be talking about. As to why we are still fucked up. You, the Jay-Z's, no shade, Jay-Z. But you and that Russell Simmons nigga with the yoga, you niggas is the reason why we're still fucked up. I hate to say it, the ushers, the Diddies. Because when you were given the anointings, you did nothing. We're given the best of the best, and all you did was give your handlers enough evidence of your debauchery to take you the fuck down to where you would be always enslaved and indebted to them. Not just in this lifetime, bitch, but in the next lifetime. Look at the music contracts. Those are blood contracts. I love my brothers. I love you. But you a stupid nigga at the same time. And I will hope that you get this correction before your last breath on this earth. To have to come back and do this shit over again. It's wild crazy in 2026. You niggas are crazy because you're not putting yourself first. You don't think about yourself first. Because if you thought about yourself, you would think of all of yourself. Not just a portion of you that you can tolerate. Because you can't handle or don't like the genetics of the majority of you. And you predisposition your genetics to have malfunctions and maladies that cannot correct themselves. Not only do you go to the other women, but you go to them with malice in your heart. No wonder you can blow your wife away and your children find you both with your brain spread across the room. You don't give a fuck. And you want us to follow you? Even the book that you claim that you follow, brother, tells you that if you don't make God the head of your house, you cannot lead. Don't come talking to us when you forgot the number one part. God said to make him the head because we, the woman, is his bride. And in order to lead that special thing, you need to have the head of God. You forgot that shit. And you've had your head up your own ass the whole time. Nigga. You around here working for somebody else's Freemason organization when the Freemason whites are trying to be you. What do you think a 33-degree Mason is? It's you, nigga. It's Osiris, nigga. The fuck are you talking about? Why do you think Memphis, Tennessee is called what it is? You think that you think that Mr. Reed Church just bought Memphis because he was a nigga with some extra coins? You are the 33-degree Mason. But if you did the study, you would know that shit. And you would know how important the mitochondrial Eve gene is to the protection of your throne. And throne literally means your wife. What is a throne, guys? It's your lap, right? When they say you landed in the lap of luxury, y'all ever heard that? Hands up for those who've heard that, kids. Have you ever heard of lap of luxury? What do you think lap of luxury means? It means a throne. This is the reason why the ancient Egyptian goddesses had thrones on their heads. You know why? Because it is the woman who is the kingmaker. Why do you think they call it crowning when you are delivering a baby? Because the baby gets their genetics and their crown from the mother. That's the reason why Isis has a throne and why she is a kingmaker. And why every wife of those who come thereafter, those women attribute themselves as Aset or Isis or Hathor or Sekhmet. They call this to let you know I am of power. Through my vagina I birth kings. The living son is my son. Okay, Osiris is Jupiter or Zeus. So the living son, Horus, is my son. That's what that means. It means that in the kingship, the pharaohship comes through the woman. She is who anoints and passes the crown or the hat of Pharaoh or the serpent of knowledge to the next generation. Why do you think they call Sekhmet, who is of the Memphis triad, the protector of the pharaohs? Now you're going to understand some real shit why I cut up on you niggas like I do. Why do you think they call Sekhmet the protector of the pharaohs? And it just so happens that Sekhmet is the patron of doctors, medicine, and healing, but also absolute motherfucking destruction. Absolute. Why do you think that is so? Why would God send Hathor, his beloved wife, and split her into two? As Basset, the domesticated protector of the household, the beautiful black cat, black pussy, and a lioness that is very much aligned with Kali Ma or Mahakali. And I actually got my orders to start working with Goddess Durga or Durga. I'm not going to talk about that until I develop a relationship with that goddess. Okay? It's in my orders. So, why do you think that is? That Sekhmet, who drunk the blood of wicked men, Like Mahakali came here as the wife of Shiva, and Shiva's most destructive form of Lakshmi or Parvati. You can see that my son is conjunct or is in Mula Nakshatra, which is ruled by the god Niriti or goddess Niriti, who is in alignment with Mahakali. That's why she holds the head of demons and drinks their blood, because only through her can the land be purified. But she became bloodlusted, and it wasn't until Shiva returned that she was able to be subdued in his presence. And he did so in the most humble way. She accidentally stepped on her beloved, and the act of that brought her to her knees. The act of his complete devotion took her out of her madness. With Sekhmet, it was red beer that she mistaken for blood. And in her drunken stupor, she returned to her softer form of Bastet, or eventually to Hathor. It was the presence of the devotion of the masculine, that power of the Godhead, not in anger, not in frustration. He's so mighty of a man, so mighty of a masculine energy, that in his humility has command that is so strong that it stopped a force of nature, a cosmic force of nature, from completely destroying the solar system in her madness through having to drink from demons. You wonder why your woman is hoish? Because she's been impregnated by demonic forces. And your hatred of her inflames that. And it also is a signal that you are not a container of the Most High. The masculine dynamic was so dynamic that in his most humble state, he was able to curtail the wrath of that which can destroy nebulas. That's quite powerful. So you can understand why he reserves his war and he resigns his war to his woman, because she has the ability to be diplomatic in a way that he can't stand when his love is on the line. I need you to understand that these things are ancient. These things require study. And if you actually have fucking respect for yourself, you will study it, because what does it do? It amplifies the self. The Aries, the first house, it amplifies who you are. So you hear the way I talk. Do you think that I'm supposed to be married to a common thinking man? Absolutely not. I would do this life single, because I cannot be with anything less than a king. I am a walking, this is why I say this shit. I'm not talking about me, but women who get to a certain level. I want you to know your woman, when she thinks like this, she is a weapon of mass destruction, because she can move across the chessboard in any way, and she is so influential. Because there's nothing more ravishing than the beauty of an intelligent woman. She carries the cosmos in her eyes. A glance from that woman stops wars or starts them. So this is what I'm telling you. You got this shit all wrong. And because you don't invest in actually studying who you are, because you don't want to be convicted of the wickedness of your ways, you deny yourself kinghood on a daily, weekly, monthly, and generational basis. And I hope that you feel shame, because shame would denote intelligence. Shame would denote intelligence and the ability to find contrasting elements in yourself that you don't like and those that are of virtue. But you walk around this motherfucker like everything's cool. Means you have the inability to innovate. You have the inability to evolve. Because a person who don't think they can be told anything, that's a dumb motherfucker. That is not going to evolve because they don't have a contrasting failure. If you don't recognize that you failed at something, how do you prepare yourself for a win? If your conversation says you are a master of everything, but you broke, then what does that say about the highest councils of knowledge? Are you calling the highest councils of knowledge bastardizations and unnecessary work? Or are you the bastard that keeps everything that you do, everything you produce, is a bastardization of something else? Because you're a bastard. Well, I think you need to become unbastard. Huh? I think you need to become reborn through the divine coupleship and really find out what your purpose is in this life and stop eating out the asshole of those who you admire, but you're too ashamed and too weak to say it and give them their due. And they don't need, they're so mad, they're so mighty, they don't need it from you. They don't want it from you because they get it from somewhere much higher. But for yourself, get the fuck off the ground. Use the needs that Capricorn gives you. Capricorn gives you abundance. Winter gives you abundance. What do you think supports the spring forward? You got to be stupid in the mind to think that in the wintertime that nothing's happening and all of a sudden everything springs forth in the spring. You got to be an idiot to allow yourself to be recorded on any platform saying such a thing. That means you don't respect yourself. You don't respect the things that you claim that you know. And you do not respect the intelligence of those who you are trying to mimic and mock at the same time. You got to be a stupid motherfucker to mock somebody that you're mimicking. You got to be stupid. You got to be fucked up as a person. You got to be a disgusting individual to shit on something and put it back on like a hat. Ain't that crazy? You're going to shit on something, on someone else, and then put their uniform back on. You're going to shit on their effigy and put it on your body. Tell me that's not stupid. You tell me what that is. You tell me, what does that sound like? You shit on someone and you copy them. If that's not retarded, if that's not arrested development, I don't know what it is. This is why we are supposed to validate ourselves. This is why you have pride in who you are. This is why you take stock, whether you know what you're doing or nothing. Let the spirit fucking move you. You got to be shut up. I'm not trying to be on I Show Speed Dick, or am I? You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit, the fuck? Anyway, listen. It's a grown man. You say what the fuck you want to say, bitch. I'm forever young. Anyway, but for real. You got to be on some different type of time when WWE comes to you and you increase their sales. And shout out to Logan Paul. I fuck with Logan Paul. I actually started fucking with Logan Paul when he pissed off the people in Japan down to the suicide forest. Because why you got your people out there? Do you know that Logan Paul, I think he's like a Aries, Capricorn, Aquarius, and I know he doesn't like this. He ever heard this, he probably mortified. And I'm sorry for that, sir, but I got to do it. I got to do it to you real quick. If it wasn't for that expose that he did that everyone gave him shit about, the Capricorn thing, shout out to KRS Astrology, who said, if you got those Capricorn placements, you need to do work that other people decided they wouldn't do. You need to work as a plumber, or work as a custodian, or work in what's called a low position where you have to kill your ego, because that will set you up for wealth, worldly success, quicker than trying to put on airs. So if you are a Capricorn person, you feel like over the last couple of years you were knocked off your throne, bitch, you were being prepared for it. Hello? Shout out to KRS Astrology. That's a bad motherfucker. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Logan Paul, who I think has Capricorn placements, either he's a rising or moon. I think his brother also has Capricorn placements and Aquarius placements, but I think his brother's Aquarius and Capricorn. I think Logan Paul is Aries with Aquarius and Capricorn. I think he's like a Capricorn rising. So that blunder that he had in Japan, right, brought attention to the suicide rate of the people, so that the sociologists and psychologists could start understanding what was behind the declining birth rates and the high numbers of suicide in East Asian countries. Can you believe that? It's not by accident, y'all, that black men or Hispanic men have taken Asian wives. God moves in mysterious ways, in a way to fortify people. I know that a lot of my sisters are not ready to hear this, but some of that does exist. I don't believe that everything is a product of self-hate, and I don't believe that that which is problematic is not also a tool of divinity. I believe that sometimes the most troubling things can lead to the most divine revelations and breakthroughs, especially if it is what creates an environment that welcomes the integration of not just black men and black women, but the bringing together and making the world a bit smaller to help hold on to the nexus of those people's genetics. I mean, they're just coming back home, ultimately. But that thing he did, there's no American by accident. I love fucking streamers, bro. I love the fact that Kai Cenat is sewing and learning the difference between a serger and a sewing machine, and why I'm hoping that he knows that Singer used to be a really good sewing machine before they replaced it with plastic parts. And my mom, she's still to this day, my mom's a seamstress. She's also does tailoring. To this day, she talks about she's so upset that my dad would not get her Singer fixed that was heavy and that was filled with metal. She was upset about selling that, and she was also upset about selling her. She had an antique Singer that was built into a desk, and she sold that before they moved here from Memphis to Denver, because that was just too much. We were already packing up the whole house to move it here, and whatnot. So I hope that you are able to make a really big impact, and maybe you find out the Moorish history of the Ottoman Empire and how it's intertwined in Spain, Portugal, and Italy. And you don't just get over there and do like Kendrick Lamar was doing when he was with the French whores under Chanel, talking about some they not like us. But you got a whore problem. You fucking only the white girls in France. But you gonna tell me who is not like me? Last my check, Drake and them daddy look like my daddy. The fuck is you talking about, bitch? The only difference is that his mother is considered a modern Hebrew, and my mother is more of an ancient Hebrew. That's the only fucking difference. His daddy looked like, I had to look at his dad and say, nigga, is you my daddy? The fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be quite honest, his daddy looked damn near just like my father. Okay? Of that Choctaw or Cherokee heritage. And he looked like his damn daddy. Now, I don't know if he's going to have a baby by a black woman and get, that mitochondria or African or something. He better do something. Drake and them kind of ignorant. Anyway, why are we even talking about that? The whole point of the matter is that Logan Paul did something that was pretty phenomenal, and it helped us understand what's going on sociologically and psychologically in East Asian countries, specifically Japan, just by being an idiot kid, chasing his dreams and stumbling upon an awakening. This is what it looks like, folks. It looks like falling forward. Y'all all thought it was preparation and you got to do all this shit. No, it looks like fucking up. It looks like you're out there fucking up. That's what it looks like. Ultimately, when you're doing something that is massive, it looks like you're fucking up. It looks like you're falling and you're skidding up your face and your shoulder. It looks like you're making a buffoon out of yourself, but you're falling forward instead of falling back on something that keeps you stuck. One of the most powerful episodes, I'm going to leave you with this. And I really would, I don't know if Speed has made his Africa tour. I need to go and look at China. I think China is, I think that you have to be a member. And I know I'm supposed to be a member and all that. But y'all, I be feeling the ways. Because like when I kind of like you, I don't want to, ooh, child, I could never be a I could never be a John. I'm a fucking fool with myself. If I like you, I don't want to have to pay for shit. The fuck? That's crazy that I'm wired that way. That's why I'm single. If I like you, I'm not trying to pay. That's crazy because you would think it's the other way around, right? If you like something or like someone, you pay. If I don't like you, I'll pay you to get the fuck out of my face, huh? Fuck off quickly. Anyway, let's behave. Let me leave you with this. The most pivotal moment for me of Speed's Africa tour was the gates. And I shared a reading in which I talked to Aquarius 7 years ago. I don't know what the fuck was going on in his life. Where I said that there was deep healing and something related to gates. And I'm not saying because listen, psychics, we're all psychic. We used to all not use our mouth. We all have telepathy abilities. There are some of us who are just better suited. And there are some of us who are so sensitive that it's cosmically unlocked. And it can lend itself to look like you have autism, deep autism. If you ever look at the movie Minority Report, those people who were the psychics hooked up to those machines, that were telling you crimes before they happened, they weren't normal function thinking. They were probably autistic people who aren't able to deal in this density of reality. Okay? So sometimes you running to unlock these gifts, you're running to blow your mind because you literally, if you're running to do anything, you're not built for this. This is work I'm doing for 3 lifetimes from now. In this lifetime. Okay? For 3 lifetimes from now. I won't even notice. I'll be dust. No one will remember me. But nonetheless, I'm doing it and I'm praying for myself 3 lifetimes from now and 3 lifetimes and however many lifetimes in the past. And in the present, in every dimension that I exist in. That's me. You ain't got to understand it. I really don't have time to explain it. But back to what I was saying about the tour. When he was in, I think it was Senegal. Was it Senegal or was it Côte d'Ivoire or the Ivory Coast? Or was it Ghana? I can't remember. But in that episode, he said, I came back. Bitch, that fucked me up. That fucked me up because there were slaves that left through that gate in the gate of no return. But there were whole people that came here that predate slavery that haven't been back. There were castaways who were Moors who had become imprisoned to the thrones of England. And that bitch who used to be at the head of the Spanish throne, responsible for the Atlantic slave trade and her greed and whatnot. Fuck that hoe. She didn't have enough mitochondrial Eve gene or she was ashamed of it. Anyway, that was so powerful to me, irrespective to whether you consider yourself as a founding indigenous Afro person that came here 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 years ago, because you cannot believe that Asians were the only ones navigating. You cannot believe that. Because their great civilizations, first of all, didn't even last or didn't start as long as African-based civilizations existed. And we find out every day that we were lied to. White people find out every day that they were lied to about a thing. Okay? You got those people over there in Egypt. They gatekeep the information. They never let a black archaeologist or anthropologist go and study with them. And they wonder why they've only uncovered 30% and they can't get to the divine 7. Because the wrong people are there and you're not the original. And you got to have a certain genetic code, a certain tone in your voice. And I found that very pivotal when Speed said, oh, he let something out. Because something in him remembers something. He wanted to see. Maybe he's seen the shit in a movie. I don't know. But to think of it right then drew on a deeper resonance. You can't find it because the people with the blood coursing through their veins are not on your team. And as long as those people are not there, your people will continue to have skin cancers because you are genetically not created to withstand those places. But you refuse, for some reason or another, to acknowledge things that common sense in a child can differentiate. Why if you're supposed to be there, why is it that Nigerians don't have skin cancer and you do? Do you think that God so didn't love you enough to give you enough melanin to protect you under the Egyptian sun? And why did is Egypt a desert when in the ancient kingdoms it was a flourishing, lush land of waters and greens and vegetation? You wouldn't even known that they call it, the reason why they call, oh, I got to get out of here, y'all. Ra, or Ra Amun, or Amun Ra. Amun, Amun, or Amon, is short for ammonia. And I want you to look up what ammonia salts are. The Egyptians discovered that based on the nitrogen and the ammonia salts of cow dung, which is why cows are revered. And this goes back to that golden cow thing and really debunking a thing. That's how I know people in the black community that adhere to these certain content creators, and you go and you keep on up liking shit because you want to be cool in the game. You don't love that person that you're liking their post because you don't push them to be better. But you got the fucking nerve to come here and ask me to be better when, baby, I'm one of the best. So far. Amun salts, or Amun Ra, okay, added to Amun Ra. Amun salts are it's called, it's not just urine, but it's I'm not saying it right, but it's ammonia that is rich with nitrogen in the dung of cows that Egypt, right? That Egypt gave its praise to. Because what they discovered is that with those precious cows, they could grow vegetation bigger and better than anywhere because of the type of cow and the way that they treated them. They didn't eat cows all the time because these were sacred beings. So when they would eat meat, it would be sacred. And it would be in respect to the vessel it came from. So that's why when y'all was laughing at the Japanese for massaging the Kobe beef, I'm like, they're doing the ancient practices, baby. That shit is ancient. They're showing respect to the flesh. You eat the flesh of Jesus, Every first, what the fuck? I mean, that's some weird cannibalistic white folk stuff, but you do it without hesitation, without education. You do it. You do what you're told. So I don't see what makes you think, like where you think they come eating the flesh of. Okay, anyway, the cow that you call demonic because of the Europeans' association with hedonism and open sexuality, which Egyptians actually spoke against because of how imbalanced it could leave the household. And the Egyptians were the first to have divorce, and they also believed in monogamy. And you wonder why Africa is ran through. Look at your practices, babe. Do your practices actually show the presence of God, or is it the presence of animal? Because only really a king or someone who's in kingship should have multiple women to ensure that those women of those different genetics have the opportunity to bear children who survive and they can lead a kingdom. Not every man. Egyptians were so advanced in this. They weren't having orgies. That's some Greek shit. And what you don't know about the Greek orgies, that it was only the women who were of high status and lesbian that were at the orgies. The men were fucking boys. Excuse my language, but I'm going to leave it there. Since you like to claim Greek so much, I don't understand why black people say they're going Greek. What the fuck do you mean? You're celebrating your demise and your fall from prominence. Didn't Greek fall? Greece is one of is struggling financially now because they know that they went against something that was sacred, and not only that, they bastardized it. So when you see what's happening to Italy, when you see what's happening to Greece, those are the examples of what happens when you take from someone. You don't give proper credit. You rob and pillage them of everything, and you take their glory unto your own hands. It will certainly diminish you. I mean, the fucking Pompeii was sent over for a volcano. That should have let you know what type of time Greece really was on. But I digress. It's time for you to return home, but it's a mental home. It's time for you to go through the gate of knowledge. Capricorn represents the gate of the gods. Cancer is the gate of man. It is through Cancer that we are diminished into humanhood. It is through the gate of Capricorn that we return to godhood. It just so happens in this lifetime, I'm moving from godhood into manhood. Those are my orders. Find out what yours are. And the only way you can do that is to invest in yourself. Put yourself face first. Strengthen your neck. Hold your head up high. Straighten your back and your posture, if you will. Because crowns are heavy. But swords are even heavier. And the armor of God is massive. Okay? That's what I got to say today. You need to honor who you are. You need to figure out what that is. And in doing so, it doesn't make you racist. It saves the lives of every living civilization that's here. If you continue, black people, ignoring the fuck who you are and advocating for yourself and resting on the backs of entertainers and sports people with no acumen for education, science, and knowledge, your lack of godhood and presence leads to something that enslaves more people than Elon can save, and faster than he can put spaceships to Mars. I'm going to just tell you that. If you actually like people of different races, you date people of other races, it's very important that you start uplifting who you are and everyone within who you are. or them children that you're having don't really have a future, all because of your own folly. It's time to wake the fuck up. I am Nala-Ife, also known as Nala the Neptunian, aka HRH Queen Regnant Isis, Sheba the Specialist, Sekhmet the Great and Gifted, Sorceress Lucille Morningstar, Admiral Louisiana de Lou Registar, and a bad bitch. Okay, period. All right? I love y'all. Have a good one.